I don't know what to do with my hands.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Super Davis Bros podcast. We're excited to have the other Davis bro here with us today. Yoshi is here with us. Say hello, Adam.
What up? Hello, everybody. I'm back.
Yeah.
Again, round
Three, right?
Yeah, round
Third
3.
time.
Here we go.
That's
And
exciting.
we're going to get way rough and tough in this episode.
Rough and tough.
Why is that?
Because war movies.
More movies.
And Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
That's the game we're playing, the newest one, Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah, for those of you on the podcast, we're on Jordan's latest debt purchase, the PS5. Have you played this one, Adam?
No, not Modern Warfare 3. I've played the Modern Warfare 2, I think it is. And like Warzone, but I haven't played the most recent one.
Cool. I haven't either. But have you played it, Jordan, yet? Or is this your first go?
This is my first one.
Okay. So if we're struggling, we've all played Call of Duty, but we haven't played much of it. We haven't played much of this game. Well, none of us have played any of this game other than Jordan right now. So.
Yeah. I mean, I played a round of Warzone, but I haven't played any campaign, or I may have picked up multiplayer for a split second, but that's it.
Because this is the
Nothing
one
special.
that came with your with your PlayStation 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Warzone is free on this one for anybody.
Oh, cool.
So
Dude, so Brianna, who we had on last time, she has Call of Duty. Like, I guess there's a Call of Duty cloud game you can play.
I just killed my own
you're
guy.
killing your own guy, dude, already?
He walked in front of my... We were all shooting at each other, and he walked in front of me. Of course, I'm going to kill him.
That should just be like, oh, my bad, bro. This is war. You shouldn't start over. It just
Like how
started as
Halo
a-
used to do it. Like, hey, stop shooting
Yeah.
me, soldier.
Yeah. Hey, man, that hurt.
Yeah.
So we're playing Call of Duty today because we're talking about best war movies. This was something that we had planned in the fall last year, and there was some conflict going on and some war that came out or started right at
Bro,
the
See,
Again?
he did it again.
Jordan just killed his own guy again. Is very upset about it. But anyway, this time we're playing it now because good news. There's no more war in the world. There's peace, so we can talk about war. Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Just kidding. We realized I don't think there's ever a great time for us to
it's not
discuss
gonna
war.
be a good time.
But it was kind of a sensitive time when we were going to do it last time. So that we're going to talk best war movies today. So I'm pretty excited about it. Adam, did you pick this topic or did we pick it and ask you to come on? I feel like you picked this topic.
No, I think you guys picked it.
I think it was like a...
But it was like a mutual decision.
Okay.
Like, you know, we had a few different options. We were all talking about them, and then we decided on more movies.
Cool. And then we did Mystery Box instead. We did a chip draft.
Yeah, chip draft.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
actually kind of fun.
That was fun.
Went all in on the Flameless, dude.
Dude, I think you won the poll.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you won the
Let's
poll.
go.
Yeah, I did. I can't believe you won that poll, but yeah, you did. And also, I
Because I know what's up, dude. You know.
I remember on the podcast I told my wife that Flaming Hot. I was like, yeah, and Adam got Flaming Hot Cheetos, and he's like, oh, she's like, I love Flaming Hot Cheetos. And then after that
Yeah.
podcast, we like went and got chips because we were like
oh, on chips.
talking about it. I couldn't get them out of my my mouth was just it was just
It
craving.
was just chippy.
Yeah, it was
You
it's
know,
chippy.
it was chippy.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mouth was a tidbit chippy.
Salivating. Yeah.
Yeah. I went home and immediately had Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Well, is
Immediately.
that differ from any other night for you?
No. No, actually, I've been out of Flamin' Hot Cheetos for like a minute, and I need to go
Oh.
get it back. 'Cause
I bought
haven't
you
had
some
them
on
for a minute.
Christmas. Well, my daughter did.
Bro. It's
They were
been
gone that
It's
day.
been a month, dude. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like a 2-day adventure.
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, so we're talking best war movies. We got a poll up for that, but we also need to talk about our last
Two-
uh,
last
two,
two
yeah, our
polls.
last two polls for the
Teams,
teams that we had for who won. So we had our draft for the best superpowers. We had 3 teams: the Equal Opportunity Creeps, the Other Team, and the All-Knowing Wizard. I'll share the teams real quick. So the Equal Opportunity Creeps had the powers invisibility, super strength, super intelligence, was able to fly, and then his silly powers where he had Gumby powers and the ability to find the nicest nearest bathroom, which is a great superpower. The other team picked teleportation, shape shifting, mind control, and time travel, with the silly powers being the ability to be invisible while people aren't looking, and over the hedge coffee speed. So the speed
Wait.
of
The ability to be invisible when people aren't looking.
Yeah.
So when people are looking,
you're
like regular, but like if they're not looking, you're invisible. That's pointless.
I know it's a silly. That was one of the silly ones.
See, but the bathroom one makes a lot of sense because
yeah,
it's
it's
like
useful.
that's super useful because
Yeah.
it's it's crappy to have to crap, but it's even crappier when you walk in and
When the
there's already
crapper's
crap
crappy.
all over.
Yeah. And then the all-knowing wizard was body repair / regeneration, telekinesis, the ability to harvest magic, and power absorption. And the silly powers were the ability to untangle any knot and infinite guacamole generator. So
Sick.
those were the teams. So the winner
That's the best team.
was the all-knowing wizard. That was
I'm talking about.
who won. So that was Jordan. The other poll that we had was from last week's episode with Brianna. We drafted the best cartoon villain team. So Adam, why don't you tell us which one would be your pick? So we have Queen Farquaad, Team Queen Farquaad, and that has Lord Farquaad. I don't know how to say that word. What was that?
It's Eustace.
Eustace? Okay. Eustace.
It's Eustace.
Eustace. Apparently he's from Courage the Cowardly Dog, the dad. The chicken and Family Guy. Sid. Scar from Lion King. And Lotso the Bear from Toy Story 4.
Wait, Sid is a
3.
villain?
Sid. Yeah, he
Yeah, I mean,
blows
he
up
was killing the toys and
toys
like
and stuff.
reassembling
Oh, I
them.
was thinking Sid in Ice Age.
Oh,
Like yeah.
Sid the
it's going the
Sloth.
wrong direction.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there's Gru's voice. Light bulb.
Sid in Ice Age would be the villain to the rhinoceroses. Rhinocere.
Rhinoceros.
Rhinoceroses. The-
Rhinoceros.
A flock of rhinos.
A flicking flock of rhinos.
Because he ate their the last dandelion.
What's the comedian that does that skit?
It's just a girl like
no,
on-
the
Oh, the vine, where he's like dandelion, and he does the eyes are the filters on where his eyes
no,
are.
it's something Dave. I know there's a comedian that you guys were doing the skit from, and I can't remember his name. But it's
Oh, you're talking about the plurals, like
Mhm.
Geese.
yeah,
Goose.
Oh, that's
he's in a
Brian
new,
Reagan.
Brian Reagan.
Brian Reagan. He's
Yeah.
in a new show that I've been watching called Louder Milk. It's hilarious.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix, and it's
Is it a Netflix original or is it just?
I think it
on
is a
Netflix?
Netflix original.
Wait, is that the Australians?
No, no.
Oh.
It's like basically a guy who he's an addict and he's like quit, and so he's running like
An addict of what?
alcohol.
Okay.
So he was an alcoholic, and he runs a support group. But it's about him, and he's just honest about like everything.
Okay.
But he's like super sarcastic to people like all the time. So when somebody does like a normal deed, or like there's a scene where he's talking to this coffee shop girl that's that does that like weird like I can't even do the talk, but like the prissy like I'm better than you. Like, yeah, yeah,
Caramel
exactly.
Frappuccino.
Yeah, and so he just starts like roasting
Oh, that's
her.
not Brian Reagan though. I've seen that.
No,
Oh, but
Brian
that's
Reagan's
He's in
show.
it.
So
Okay.
he's
Alright.
he's one of the alcoholics in it,
Okay.
and he is super funny in it.
Oh, I'll have
He
to
just
watch
drops like
it. Is it
ridiculous.
clean or is it pretty raunchy?
It's pretty clean. There's
Cool.
swearing, but it's there are some raunchy points, little bit of nudity, but not much.
I'll watch it.
But that's it.
Jordan's like, you had me at raunchy.
Yeah, but it's honestly like it, especially with like what's going on in the storyline. It could be way raunchier, but it's not that raunchy.
Okay.
It's
Well,
really
I
not.
love Brian Reagan. He's hilarious.
Brian Reagan.
Free snow cone. Free
Yeah.
snow cone at the end of the game.
The outfielders are on the infield. The
Great.
infielders are going through my pockets. Hey, that's my gum.
Grape
Easy out.
or cherry.
Easy out.
Either one's good. But I'll probably get grape.
K-A-T. I know there's two T's.
We should do, if we have time, we should do what we're streaming or digging right now at the end of this episode. So Jordan's team was Gru's voice saying light bulb. Can you do that real quick, Jordan?
Light bulb.
Light the bulb. And his team was Gru, Hades, Plankton, Bowser, the Monstars, and the Black Beast of
Arg.
from Monty Python.
Oh, those are good. Those are really good.
And then the last
Stop.
last team is Wrong Lever. And
Wrong
that has
Lever.
Yzma from Emperor's New Groove, Tank Evans from Surf's Up, I'll polish him later, Megamind, Captain Hook, Syndrome from Incredibles, and Mr. Waternoose from Monsters Inc. So, who would you pick?
Oh man. The last two are really good. Wrong Lever and what was the one before?
Light bulb.
Light
Light
bulb.
bulb. It's not so good. Light bulb.
There you go. That's better.
Sorry.
I'd probably have to go with light bulb.
Cool.
Yeah.
Um,
But Wrong Lever has some really solid ones in
so
it.
that was Jordan. The winner, though, on the poll was Queen Farquaad. Won by a significant margin, actually. But maybe there was some favoritism there.
By the way, well, she did threaten like to cry if you didn't vote
Yeah,
for
she
her,
did do
and to like she would. Yeah, she threatened a couple things during it.
Yeah, I said, I won't come on again
So-
and I'll cry.
And so we did all vote for her because of it. So
Brianna's awesome.
yeah, she is.
And Queen Farquaad is a pretty dope name.
That is a super dope name.
Who wouldn't want to marry King Farquaad?
Queen
I know.
Farquaad.
Queen Farquaad wouldn't be marrying Queen Farquaad.
Why not?
I'm
We
saying
live
who
in a
wouldn't
modern
want to
world,
marry
okay?
King Farquaad and become Queen Farquaad?
Oh, okay. Yeah, back
Some
then,
of
that's
us.
how it worked.
Some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I am willing to take.
So good.
Real quick, Nick Foles is on.
What up?
Said, sup, boys. And you went to Mike, said, war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. You are the one.
You are.
I always think Rush Hour.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're getting.
Okay.
You are. It's not you are.
And then Nick
Y'all.
Foles blamed that's a camel's hump. I don't want no camel's hump.
You got any eel? How's your
Oh man,
camel
this
hump?
new controller is weird.
And then Nick Foles said friendly fire won't be tolerated, Adam.
You should talk to Jordan because
He did later
killed two
say,
people.
"Oh, it's Jordan killing his own folk." I should have known.
Zone kin.
Well, welcome to the chat, guys. I know you guys have been on there. Those were from like at the beginning, I'm sure. But there's I was killing my own teammates, so I couldn't read the chat too. But yeah,
Well,
post your favorite war movies, and so we can throw them out too once you get them in.
yeah. Well, should we hop into the poll real quick and see who had the most votes?
Yes.
There were a million entries and a bunch of votes. 73 votes. 72 of those votes were Adam.
like
I love war.
That's
well,
like
I
how
added a bunch too.
Yeah,
and
and
all
then
the
you have to
added
like
ones
'em,
you,
yeah.
you
Well,
like.
Amy used to get on and just like all of them until we gave her too much crap for it. Now she doesn't get on
Now
and
she
like
doesn't get
anything.
it. I know.
So
Well, she just get on and just like every single thing.
no matter
We're
what,
like,
yeah, which is good
Such
for
a
like
diplomat.
building support, I guess, like because people see when you like your pages and posts and stuff like that. But it doesn't bring more people seeing your page if you like something on that post. It's just
well,
if
it's
you
in the
like
group, so it
post.
doesn't show anyone anything.
Oh, that's true, huh?
Yeah, it's just in the group. So we may have maybe we shouldn't have made fun of her. But the thing was, is she didn't even know what she'd vote for. She just like clicked
Amy,
through.
come back
Come back. We'll get you on
and
the
actually
podcast.
vote for him.
Yeah.
I did talk to her about that the other day. I was like,
Oh, really?
just telling her like, so what are you gonna come on for?
yeah.
Mm, didn't go anywhere.
She's like, I don't care at
Yeah.
all.
She said she would. We just need to come up with a topic.
She's like, best weeds. Best places to get your weed. Best
Hey, you guys
places
are
to
just
store your weed.
roasting her right now.
Well, she's not listening.
Defend herself.
Yeah, she's getting baked. You can put
Which-
your weed in there, man.
I mean, there probably are plenty of places that are best places for getting weed from. If you buy weed now, I mean, it's kind of being bought. You can buy it
Well,
anywhere in Utah
it's
Yeah,
now.
legal.
dispensaries and
Legal.
stuff.
Yeah, so
Well, it's medically legal.
Yeah.
Dispensaries.
Yeah, you're like, oh, my elbow hurts.
Tad said,
Not quite. It's actually kind of particular in Utah.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
yeah. So it's so particular that you just have to find the right doctor to just prescribe it to you.
I'm a doctor, bro.
Like that literally
Oh,
was
yeah,
what was
doctor.
happening. Like, some people I know were like, dude, I have this number to this doctor that'll just sign it for you. Like,
One that's
Uh,
cool that is a part of the list of things that will actually get you your medical card is
Hold up.
PTSD.
Save it for the Amy episode, okay?
Well, I was relating it to our topic today, which is war.
PTSD, that's true.
Oh,
And
okay. There you go.
PTSD is a reason to be able to get your medical marijuana card.
That one makes sense.
Hmm.
All right,
Yeah,
let's read
That
the.
should be good then.
Yeah, you have serious PTSD from being a
Real
loser
quick,
and a
yeah.
redhead.
No
one likes me.
For use of a beaver tranquilizer. Damn it, Bernice. What movie is that from?
Dodgeball.
Zoolander? Dad'll get that joke.
Yeah, and only
But,
Dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Our
went to
one
Mike,
streamer anyway. Thanks,
said,
Dad.
I like a lot of war movies. Guilty. That's great, Dad.
I don't think that's a guilty thing. I think that's why we picked it. We grew up watching war
Yeah, for
movies
sure.
because of
Yeah.
our dad, and I actually really appreciated that. Like he kind of let us watch some of these movies that were really hard to watch to recognize the seriousness of like
Of
war.
war.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the realities and the things that people have given up for our freedom, and
And
yeah, it's good
Yeah.
stuff. So,
speaking of the seriousness, like, oh, we haven't done the poll yet, but
we'll get into the poll. You're good.
we might as well start this off right and talk about the most serious one of them all.
If you bring up Tropic Thunder,
No, but
Tropic
mean-
Thunder.
I was going to bring up Stripes.
oh yeah, that's
Stripes
Stripes
is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
Stripes is so funny, dude.
Tropic Thunder is
Oh,
pretty funny too. Dude.
yeah, we were just talking about like how the movie industry is like kind of missing out on comedies, and that's one that you just can't make now.
Oh no way, no
like
way!
it,
you
but
can make
it's
that again.
so good. Like
Yeah.
it is such a funny
It's
movie.
hilarious.
But yeah, that's a done.
What do
deal.
you mean,
Yeah.
you people? What do you mean, you people?
When Ben Stiller's like, He's like, I studied. Oh, I can't remember I don't want to blow. I'm not gonna bring it up, but just he was studying to be a disabled person.
Yeah.
He like went and lived.
He's like, but you went full disabled.
Yeah.
You never go full disabled. I don't want to say the word
and
they
you can't
use
even say the
because
word now.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's disrespectful. But we didn't
Yeah.
say it, just so you know. It was on
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder.
Don't cancel
so
us. Our 2 people.
go comment on them, not on us.
Our
for
100 download viewers don't cancel us.
Oh,
they
yep,
all left
Nick
the
Foles
chat.
and Dad just left. Dang it.
They all left the chat.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna bring out of Stripes
Oh, go ahead.
and they sneak off with the military police girls, and then the next scene, like after they were flirting with him for a while, they go to that house, and they the next scene, like Bill Murray and the girl climb out of the blanket chest at the bottom of the bed, and he's like, well, that was interesting. Like they were doing it inside the blanket chest.
Yeah.
And then
Our dad showed
my
us
other
that one,
favorite
too.
line is the name's Francis. Sorry, am I too loud?
You're good.
All right. The name's Francis, but everybody calls me Psycho. Any of you homos call me Francis, I'll kill you. And then the the sergeant's like, lighten up, Francis. It's so good.
Man. Well, let me read. Let's start with the poll of movies that we have. There's a ton, so I'm just gonna kind of rattle them off. We have Saving Private Ryan, Full Metal Jacket. Sorry. Apocalypse Now, Braveheart, Schindler's List, Platoon, Thin Red Line, Black Hawk Down, The Patriot, Born on the 4th of July, Pearl Harbor, We Were Soldiers, Dunkirk, Hacksaw Ridge, Oppenheimer, All Quiet on the Western Front, Fury, 1917, Lone Survivor, Inglourious Basterds, Zero Dark 30, Jarhead, American Sniper, The Hurt Locker, Midway, Brothers, Devotion, Saints and Soldiers, Troy, The Pianist, Behind Enemy Lines, and Small Soldiers.
I think you pronounced that one wrong.
Pianist.
Pianist? I don't know.
I'm a penis.
You went to Mike, said, you have to be politically correct, ? But it's okay to diss your sister. Bad form.
Well,
It's politically correct to diss our sister.
yeah, we're family.
So
it's
it's
okay. Yeah.
We love our sister, everybody.
And Amy, you
She
can come on
knows it,
anytime.
and
anytime.
we care. We give her crap because we care about her.
That's what brothers
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
We're a band of brothers.
Oh.
Yeah. Dude. Killer show.
Yeah, it wasn't a movie, so I didn't put it on the list, but
That's
that
why I didn't.
TV series is incredible.
It is, in my opinion, the best depiction of World War II in it, like from a first-person perspective.
Well, because it's the actual stories too, which is really cool.
Yeah, well, and you have the actual guys talking about it throughout each episode. They're all like basically a full-length movie each episode, and they follow the 101st Airborne through their entire campaign through World War II. So you get to see the traumatic impact of the very beginning of the war and like not knowing anything about it going into it, and then seeing the progression of each character as they move through, the tragedy of war. And it really just puts all of World War II in a really specific light that helps you recognize what
the seriousness.
of that war.
Yeah, I like how they have the actual veterans talking at the beginning of each episode. It's really cool. So
I also like that.
good.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't
You
seen
haven't
Band of
seen
Brothers?
Band of Brothers?
Oh, dude, you really
Yeah.
should see it.
I've
so
been
good.
wanting to, but it's a commitment.
It's a commitment.
Oh yeah, for
So-
sure.
So
100%
But it's
a commitment.
phenomenal.
yeah.
It's-
So after I watch
addicting.
Game of Thrones for the 47th time, I'm totally gonna get into it.
Dude, Band of
That's a commitment
Brothers.
movie show too.
Yeah, but not like Band of Brothers isn't that big. The nice thing about Band of Brothers is it's like a movie, so you can go home.
It's like a
you
10
know?
episode series.
Yeah, so you can go and you can just watch one episode. It's like an hour and a half,
Yeah, it's a
As-
movie.
it's a
length.
movie,
It's
and then
decent.
you can be done. You just do that.
Honestly, that's
know,
like
10
perfect
nights.
for me because if it's not like, because most war movies are like 2+ hours long, so I always want to watch war movies at night. and I'm
then you
like,
fall asleep.
It's just too long. I won't get through it. I won't get
Or
through
you leave. You can't go to bed because you're like, your
Way
fight or
roped into it.
flight
Yeah.
modes are like, are like at their peak. Your what's that called? Your what's that
it. Uh-huh.
drug? What's your fight or
It's,
flight instinct? What's that called?
Adrenaline.
Yeah, your adrenaline. Thank
meth.
you.
Oh no,
Weed. You can put your weed in there.
You can put your weed in there.
This turned into a drug episode.
adrenaline. No, yes,
Adrenaline. Thank you, Adam. And it gets my adrenaline like pumping, dude. Watching these movies is crazy, but
Yeah,
Band of Brothers is totally worth a watch. So
I will watch it, and I will let
Um,
you guys know what I think when I do watch it.
okay, I appreciate
Um,
it.
Dad
It's
also.
ki-
Sorry.
ahead. You're good.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead. Dad said.
So what I was gonna say.
I was
Oh my
waiting for you
gosh.
to. Oh, that's so funny. We're so funny. We should start a podcast together.
Oh my god.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You guys are adorable.
Oh my gosh. He said, I agree with Adam. Band of Brothers is about as real as it gets to a depiction of war and its consequences.
Yeah, the other one I'd say is pretty good. The only reason, and it's the same director. The only reason I think it doesn't hit quite the same as Band of Brothers is because the situations are real, but the story is made up as Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, so
is the
good.
other one that like I really think shows the like
Tom Hanks
severity.
is so good in it. All of
Yeah.
them, all the actors. And you know what's crazy? I didn't realize, but Vin Diesel's in that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
And I knew it, but
he
I
has
didn't.
one of the most like pronounced scenes in that show.
yeah,
like, one
that
of
is
the most
when
like,
he tries to save the kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a.
It's a hard scene to watch.
He's like,
but
no,
it's-
I'm not letting him go. Like
It shows the like the humanity and love that happens.
even from like the Brute too, because he was
Yeah.
like the Brute guy too,
yeah.
and he's
which
like, he
Vin,
reminds me
Vin
of my
Diesel always
niece or
is.
whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. There's
Yeah.
some the hardest
Some
scene
heavy
though.
Scenes
There's
in
a I think it's the heaviest scene in any movie ever is in that with the knife scene.
The knife fight. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, hand-to-hand combat. Is
Oh,
just,
dude, that
and that
scene.
scene like perfectly depicts how terrifying that is. You know,
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Well, none of us have been in that, but yeah, it's crazy.
Adam's like, the last knife fight I was in was just like that.
but butter knife fight. But dude, it was that movie's. I mean, we can start just jumping into the movies that we like, I guess, and then we can hit the poll at the end. But Saving Private Ryan, man, has to be discussed for sure if you're talking best war movies. It's just
100%.
from the moment it starts, that scene in the D-Day scene.
Oh man,
dude.
so intense. Like that. I'm pretty sure that was the first war movie I watched with Dad.
I know that was a big
And-
one for me because
and-
Dad would like sit us down. He like I think it. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but when we got to a certain age, Dad would have like a father-son night and like talk to us about what war is, the realities of war, and then we'd watch Saving Private Ryan. He'd be like, "This is gonna be really difficult, but it's
It's not
important." to you."
shaving Private Ryan.
I said saving.
I know.
Did you think I said shaming?
Shaving.
Shaving privates.
Shaving Ryan's
Privates?
I mean,
Shaving Ryan's privates.
that's
Terrible.
That's the
This
other.
is gonna be such a like a weird episode to be in because we're like floating in and out of like serious talk and then like just making fun of things. It's like the
Yeah,
most
you guys are
serious
terrible.
topic. Yeah. But as we're like playing a
Well,
game,
there
that's
was
war.
the Saturday Night Live spoof on Saving Private Ryan. It was Saving Ryan's Privates.
Okay. So shaving Ryan's privates is pretty funny though.
Yeah, that is pretty funny though.
It's pretty witty. Here, let's do the poll real quick, and then we'll just start going around and throwing out ones that we like. How about that?
Okay.
So, There are so many. I'm just gonna kind of take a guess at which ones are the top ones.
Didn't you have like a whole thing? Somehow you used to pull up that it showed each one and how many votes.
Yeah, it's
And I don't know how to do it
it's
anymore.
shifted now. Now you have to like click on it.
Stop updating Facebook. Just leave it on the ones we like.
Yeah, just let us millennials have our moment. Okay, there's a clear number one. And then there's a tie for.
Did you just vote for it?
No.
I saw you
I
click over on the
re-voted
left
for. When I was looking at it,
There's a
unclicked.
There's a clear number one.
Okay,
Click.
so we'll just do the tiebreaker number 2, and then the tiebreak. Oh no, we can do the third too. I think there's enough. Yeah. Okay. So at third place, we have Braveheart and Platoon. So Braveheart and Platoon came in third place. In second place, we have Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan and Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, both so good.
Oh, there was also another tie for third. Dunkirk tied for third as well.
Full Metal
Dunkirk.
Jacket is where I first heard the song "Fight the Power."
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, "This is dope," so I for sure downloaded it. But in that scene where they're partying in the desert, it's like
Yeah.
"Fight the Power." That's a great scene.
So you guys want to guess what the number one was? It was clear winner. It had the most votes by far. Want to guess? Adam, what do you think the number one war movie was?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were.
You can guess that.
Inglorious Bastards.
What's your guess, Adam?
All right, this is hard to do both. Third pick.
No, first.
First.
First place.
Oh, first place.
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan.
No, that was second place. So you were focused on the game because
Yeah, it was.
It's
It's
okay.
kind of hard. There's
Yeah,
a lot
it's
going
really
on.
difficult.
It is hard.
It's
I'm
really
trying to
tough.
listen to both and play this, but this is a lot more like
Nick Foles says
movement.
Lord of the Rings is the best war movie. So maybe that one, even though it wasn't on the list.
No. Inglorious Bastards was the number one pick
Oh, I mean that
by a
that
lot.
makes sense. I mean it's a great movie.
It had
but
more votes.
What was it?
Inglorious Bastards.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
So you're right.
I got it right. So good.
Inglourious
is good.
Basterds
Everybody wanted to
is
see
great,
Everybody wanted to see Hitler die.
but
Hitler die. Yep.
yeah, it's great. I mean it's completely unhistorical.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's still cool.
Nick Foles said, "Without me, my rifle is useless. Without my rifle, I am useless. I must fire my rifle true. I must shoot straighter than my enemy who is trying to kill me." And then he did full period, metal period, jacket period. I think he really likes Full Metal Jacket, but that line must
I
be out
thought that
of
was
Full
in
Metal
Saving
Jacket.
Private Ryan.
Yeah,
but
isn't that the
I
prayer
thought that's
in
what the
Saving Private
sniper
Ryan?
said.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he just said Full Metal Jacket right
Yeah,
after
maybe
that,
it is.
so-
I just
Yeah.
remember the Christian sniper in Saving Private Ryan, but
Is
it's
that
probably
the prayer he
Full
says? That's cool.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
remember that though.
He
That's
says it
intense,
every
too.
time he's.
Well, no, it might be. He might be. Carson's probably right that quote's from Full Metal Jacket. It wouldn't surprise me though that there's like a similar thing that the sniper says in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I thought it was more like a prayer to God in Saving Private Ryan.
It
Yeah,
might be. He
Because
might
didn't
be
he
like,
have like a cross?
he might
always-
say the Lord's Prayer
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, it is.
I thought he
might
had
be.
like a beaded necklace or something.
He did.
that
He has a
carried,
cross.
So
he
I
he
think
kissed
it's
it
more
every
of like a
time
prayer.
before he
Yeah.
sniped.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was it.
Dad said
Crazy.
you Inglorious Bastards was good but disturbing too. Which
Yeah,
yeah, it definitely was. But
Yeah.
it's such an amazing movie.
Yeah.
I need to watch that. one
which
again,
all
too.
Quentin Tarantino films are a bit disturbing. So
Fair.
kind of makes
fair.
sense.
Kind of what they're all about.
But Brad Pitt in that is so good,
Mm-hmm.
so good. Killing Nazis. He's-
Brad Pitt's good in like everything he does. He's a great
Yeah.
actor.
You want to know a weird thing that my wife and I have noticed about Brad Pitt movies? He's always eating. Next time you watch a movie with Brad Pitt,
He does eat
he
a lot.
eats
in,
in
his films.
every
Yeah.
scene and every movie he's in. It's not just like one thing that he decides this is how he's going to eat with this character just for one movie. Every movie. Go watch a Brad Pitt movie. almost every scene he's eating an apple or something or Skittles or he's
Yeah.
always eating.
What's
Oh,
hard
I
about
messed
that
up.
from a
Moneyball?
film perspective is like if you have an apple, right, and you take a bite of the apple, well, you're changing the image.
Oh
They're
yeah, I bet
recording.
that'd be really hard.
So they have to have multiples of everything that he eats on scene because you don't do any scene only
Right.
once.
right.
So every bite, each time they have to reset it. So like when somebody's like some of the hardest things to shoot are dinners.
Oh, that'd
Because
be so frustrating
you
to be
can't,
like the
like-
guy that's in charge of Brad Pitt's like eating.
Yeah.
You're like,
Ugh.
oh, I've got to have 42 different Snickers for each time he's in the.
I
You know what
messed-
else would suck is when you're doing ADR later, the audio dialogue replacement later, you're gonna have to make all those.
Yeah.
Talking to Nazis.
So you gotta
sounds,
even
you know.
eat more Snickers.
Yeah. Everybody
that for you
gains
the one
weight
time.
on what?
I did that for you the one time.
It's smart
You had
though.
me go into the recording studio and just eat like different snacks and stuff. Remember when you worked for Impatient Cow or whatever it was called?
Yeah, as a audio engineer for. Did I have you do that for something?
Yeah, you had me do it for one of the little like cartoons you had to make up for them. And I
Oh,
was just doing that.
that I probably did do that. It's,
Yeah.
I've done that for a bunch of commercials. My voice is weird sounds or stuff on the back. Like
That's cool.
when I was working for the commercial production company, like I do like canned stuff. One of the scenes when I was going to school for it, it was a Burger King commercial, and it was when it's the flaming Whopper and it's really spicy.
I remember that commercial. It was
And I had to
great.
make all the sound effects, and it was like, and I did all the sound effects for the whole thing. It was like part of my like schooling, and it was fun. I still have that somewhere.
That's awesome. I did mess up. Fight the Power song was not from Full Metal Jacket. That is from
Jarhead.
Jarheads.
I was wondering that when you said
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I was like, oh, I think that was because the
It's
desert.
hard. Some of them you definitely you can mix up war movies pretty easily.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, let's kind of dive in and Adam, do you want to talk about we'll kind of go around. We're not drafting or anything, but maybe pick a war movie that you like that impacted you or that I don't know, it's just cool, whatever, and we'll just kind of make our rounds.
Yeah, let me trade off though, because
certainly, I'll go into war. Tag me in. Tag me in.
I mean that there's so many on that list that are incredible movies. There was one I wanted to touch on that most war movies I have a like I can get through pretty like I really enjoy war movies.
Mm-hmm.
But one I have yet to been able to finish that's on the list is All Quiet in the Western Front.
Oh, the new Netflix one.
It is a very dark, show about what World War I was like in the German perspective.
Oh.
And it's an incredible film. I've heard a lot of really good things about it, but it is, it's a bit of a slow start, but it's also it gets really dark and it's hard to like get into.
So have you
It's
not
very
finished it because
emotional.
it's like it's slow, or have you not finished it because it's really hard to watch?
It's hard to watch.
Oh, wow.
That's been one of the ones that I've struggled to watch just because it does a very great job of depicting the emotional trauma that happens to a young boy that's 17, 16, going in for the pride of his country, in like this weird, like we're gonna kind of, conquer, that we're better than others, and this like really big pride as you go into the beginning of the film.
And then the reality.
And then the reality sits in. And World War One,
It was a joke, dude. It was all over the murder of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. It was like the
Yeah.
most millions of people died for nothing. Like
yeah, absolutely nothing. And it was one of the most horrific wars you could
Oh,
ever possibly go
dude.
through. They were testing gases for the first time that would literally boil your skin. Trench foot was a horrible thing where people were losing toes and
Yeah.
like, it was just
Infections and stuff.
infections
from the
were
trenches,
crazy.
Yeah.
Most of the war you spent in mud and blood in the bottom of the trench.
Yeah.
And you were just like, it's a really hardcore war, and you're spent in like bunkers. And one of the first scenes that you get into when the boy is first there in the trenches is he's running in, and he goes into, the bombs start going, and he has to run inside of a bunker hole with all of his buddies, and they're all just basically hysterically crying because it's just terrifying.
Yeah,
'cause bombs are dropping above them, and they're in a dirt bunker, and it's collapsing as they're in it, and it's
Oh, that's already getting me.
It's
like,
a
oh,
really
I'm just
hard
imagining it.
show to watch. Like when I went to watch it, I just wasn't in the right
Headspace.
mental space
Yeah.
to accept it. And so it's one I want to go back to. But yeah, it's been
There's
it's a tough
two
one.
there's two movies that on this list. I've seen most of the movies on our list. I think
Mhm.
everybody has here. But there's two movies I was like, I'm gonna try and watch before this episode, and I just unfortunately didn't get around to it because
Yeah.
life comes at you. So
Life comes at you fast. Nationwide is on your side. Sponsor us.
please help us just pay for our debts. But one of them was All Quiet on the Western Front. It won a bunch of stuff with the Oscars, and I wanted to watch that. And then the other one was Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh,
I haven't seen it, so I figured you're going to talk about that next,
I'm
George.
good,
So do you
yeah.
want to talk about that real quick? We'll switch off.
Yeah.
Dude, so good. Man, so it's essentially about a
Seventh Day Adventist.
Seventh Day
Adventist.
Adventist. Thank you. He has like something that happens to him in his childhood that makes him just vow to never pick up a gun, like religiously.
Well, and
never-
Seventh Day Adventists don't believe in warfare, I believe, too. Like, they don't believe in...
yeah, they don't believe
Murder, right?
in.
Well, no one believe... Like, most religions don't believe in murder, but they're, like, not for
They don't
war's
believe
sake.
in weapons, so they don't believe in harming anyone, and so like in their eyes, like if you were in a fight, they wouldn't fight back. That's kind of the rough, like most purest idea of it is like if I was one of them and you attacked me, I wouldn't fight back.
Right.
They're purists in the sense of like they only want to help and not. They think fighting and like killing is just wrong, and
Right.
so his whole idea
Well-
was to be a medic, and he wanted to serve, but yeah,
Yeah. Well, So essentially, he goes in to war, and he goes. The Hacksaw Ridge is a climb up to the battlefield, up this insanely hard climb up this rope, just to go and pretty much die right when you get to the top.
Real quick,
And
I just wanted to make sure, just for the viewers, that we knew the I didn't want to, like, misquote Seventh-day Adventist.
I agree. I
So
couldn't
it
agree
says
more.
Seventh-day Adventist Church takes a non-combative position and encourages its members not to join the military. So
Cool.
they do restrict. They don't like restrict, but they just encourage. They encourage them not to
Yeah.
to join the military. So okay,
Cool.
go on, Jordan.
No, that's good. Thank you for bringing that up. So basically, he climbs up to the top of this ridge and he goes through and he's just saving guys like all day long. He's saving his own guys, dragging them back. To
Because they went over the ridge to fight,
they
right?
get up the ridge, so they come in on like a beachfront by an ocean, but they have to climb up this wall, this huge wall, and then at the top of this cliff, that's where they are trying to
Fight.
make ground and fight.
Gotcha.
And so everybody retreats at the end of the day, and he was like in the field, and he ended up just staying up there. He's like, I'm not going back. I'm going to keep finding people. More people need my help. And the ships that were out in the ocean were bombing overnight. They had him bomb, and the whole time he's saying, just give me one more, give me one more.
To God,
And it's
right?
and it's such a good, amazing scene. Like, he's running back in, and you can see the explosions going on around him, which was friendly fire explosions from the ships bombing the ridge.
Because they told people to retreat.
Yeah. So they didn't know anybody was up there. And so there's two people that kind of sit down by the bottom of the ridge that kind of watch the area. And all of a sudden a body gets dropped down. And it's one of their guys. And they're like, oh, we need to get this guy medical attention. Like, somebody's up there. And
They
he
just keep
saved like
lowering people down.
27 people. And like 4 or 7 of the opposite sides.
What
people,
war
too.
was it? Was it World War II?
Yeah, it was World War II.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I know enough about it. Like I've seen enough clips on the internet, watched the trailer, I know enough about it, and I just need to watch it. I've heard it's so
Everybody
good.
should watch it. It's so good. It's so like,
It's very well done.
it's very well done, and it's a true story.
Mhm.
Like,
Wow.
yeah,
it's really, it hit me. I'm like, that is amazing. That's truly amazing that somebody, and to not pick up a gun the whole time. Like, he's getting shot at from every angle. He's going and saving lives.
Both
And
sides.
then he gets into, like, it shows a scene where he gets into like one of the tunnels,
Like trenches?
the trench. Well, no, tunnels. Like, I think there's a movie, Tunnel Rats is a war
Okay.
movie as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
They like built dirt tunnels underneath the war zones, and they jump out, and
Yeah.
they had those in that war zone too. And he was like crawling down there, and he would run into like an injured soldier or somebody, and they'd kind of like have this, they wouldn't know what they were saying, but they'd be like, it's okay, let's just go our separate ways.
Oh,
But then he'd save them anyways. Like, after, like, one of them, I think, shot at him and like almost killed him, and he ended up saving that guy later. I don't
Wow,
know,
dude.
just amazing. Just such
Yeah,
a cool, like,
I
how
should-
could you do that? Because I feel like your adrenaline would kick in,
Yeah, your instincts.
and you'd go, nope, I just got shot at from all angles. Like, I need to protect myself. And you'd pick up a gun and you'd do it. And he went, nope, don't need it.
Man, talk about faith in your religion.
Yeah,
bro.
serious. That was
yeah,
cool.
I mean, they actually they put him in jail in the beginning of the show in military,
Oh, yeah,
restraint because when he's going through basic, he refuses to pick up a gun, and all of his men are like, or all the guys he's with are fighting him on it, like, you wouldn't.
They're like beating him up
protect
at
me,
night.
and then they'd beat him up, and it's all based. It's based on a true story of a guy who.
sure, it's Hollywood a little bit, but
I'm sure there's
that's-
some Hollywood in it.
But still, just the fact that, like,
But I don't. Should I kind of give it away? I mean, it's been out a while, so
you
it's
know,
not
I think you're
spoilers.
fine.
In the end, he's like done. He's done his part, and everybody's like, "You're amazing. Go home. Like, you've done everything and more for this war than you could, you know." And there was the next group of guys going up the next morning, and they were like, "We're not going up there without him."
Oh man,
And so they came to him like,
because
said
they're
they
like,
won't
he'll
go
bring
without
me
him.
back if I
Yeah.
get shot.
And then
Mhm.
he came and he went up again with them. And
Oh
then
my
it
gosh.
shows an interview from him. He still lived.
He's still alive.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know if he's still
well, yeah,
alive,
but I mean, at the
yeah,
ti-
he was
yeah,
still
yeah,
alive
that's
to
a-
interview and talk for the
About
making
his-
of that movie. Like, how many people can you save? Like,
Oh wow,
that's
dude.
amazing. Yeah, everybody wants to be
I
that
really wanna
heroic
watch
hero
that
in war.
movie.
Like, at least my dream as a kid, I was like, I want to be military and I could save people and fight for our country and,
Right,
you know, kill to help.
kill to help.
Yeah, right. But that's how kids thought. Like, I'm gonna kill him to.
Well, yeah, and I think that's
protect
why our
us.
dad was so big on showing up these movies, because, I mean, boys grow up playing cops and robbers, playing with guns, pretending to be in wars or whatever, and it was good for him to sit down and be like, look, here are also the realities of what you're playing. You know, like
Well,
there's
it's so
seriousness.
romanticized.
Yeah, I
in,
mean, we're playing-
you know, through Call of Duty,
Yeah,
through all
we're-
these different things. Like,
Yeah.
war is very romanticized, and Dad really helps to like like when we were younger, he really helped us to kind of see it as what it really was.
Mhm.
Because
They
for a long
used to
time, like
always
I
have
wanted to be in
memorial-
the military, and Dad made sure that I understood my decision, like of wanting to join when I was young.
Right.
And one of the ways he helped me, like, kind of see what it could be like, is he would talk openly about it. He would let us watch really, really hard things as young kids to kind
Yeah.
of help us to understand what war can.
Of,
Yeah.
of age, not like young, but I think once we kind of could understand the difference between,
Yeah.
real and fake, and
We have a good dad. Speaking of
For
which,
sure.
Dad's going to be on the podcast next week. So.
yes, he is.
I'm
That'd be
going to
awesome.
move on to another movie, war movie though. Then that I really enjoyed and grew up loving, and it was because it's kind of romanticized a bit, as Adam was talking about. But I just thought it was so cool when I was a kid. Was The Patriot?
Oh,
Like
that's so
this,
cool.
dude.
Want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
You haven't seen The Patriot?
No, I haven't.
What?
I
What?
know.
Did we not grow up in the same house?
I don't know how. But I didn't like the idea of like those old fashioned wars. kind
Oh,
of thing.
dude, it's
I liked Modern Warfares. I'm sure it's amazing and I want to watch it. And I don't know why I haven't to this point, because I know it's amazing. I know I want to watch it. It's just not when I was younger, you just don't have time anymore. So it's not like the next one you think of.
right.
Plus, it's probably not as easily accessed as some movies out there. You know what I mean? Actually, it probably is. That's a huge movie, huh?
Yeah, it's
What-
big.
I don't know what
yeah,
it's on, but-
huge.
movie.
I'm sure you can find it on a streaming
Yeah, I'll
service.
watch it.
If
I
not,
feel
it's
stupid
worth
for
like a
not.
download on Amazon. It's so
100%.
Stinking
That
good.
is such a good movie, and there's
it's just clever too. Like it's really
Mhm.
cleverly written, and you're like you want to be what's his name? What's the lead actor in The Patriot?
He's beautiful.
That's gonna drive me nuts. Let me just
Adam, I
look
don't
it
know
up.
where I'm at.
I don't know. I died.
So where did it take me to?
This is a weird campaign because it's a lot more open world than I was expecting, and
Yeah.
I did not.
Mel Gibson,
Mel Gibson.
but he was so cool.
One of the coolest
And it was like this
scenes-
idea of like his family taking on the entire
Yeah.
British army.
Yeah. Like, you want to feel like a patriot?
Yeah,
Just
dude,
watch that
that
show and you're
movie
going to
I
be
have
all
seen
in.
parts of it.
Oh,
for sure.
dude, there's
You'll
some
be like,
dark stuff.
"America!"
It's hard though too. That one's hard, but yeah, it's pretty
It's
like
tough.
America.
Well, and like one of the coolest scenes in that show is the well, there's a couple, but one of them is when him and his two little boys
yes, that's the best
are in
scene of the
the-
whole movie.
are in the forest, and they basically, that's when he gets his name of like the ghost.
Well, he already had his name. Oh yeah, yeah.
no, he
you're right. You're
becomes
right.
like the
Yeah.
ghost of the war,
Yeah.
the patriot.
Yeah, you're right.
Because the British soldiers are being ambushed, and they think that it's
multiple
peop-
soldiers.
multiple sources, because he's shooting from over here and then over here, but there's only ever one rifle shooting, and so they only ever saw him, and so they thought that it was only one person.
Yeah,
And then and they just like, it's a
and
really
it's so
cool
cool that like
scene.
he goes after, like, you're so mad at what just took place at the house, and then they take his son captive because he's a prisoner of war, and what he just did to his other son, right? And he goes back, and
Mhm.
oh, dude, it's just like, yeah, it's just sweet.
Yeah.
Freaking red
It's
coats.
all those mill.
We're
things
we're
building
British,
up.
so we can make fun of the red coats.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Patriot for me. So Adam, let's move on, and then we'll do like some streaming service. Why don't we do one more each, and then we'll talk about what we're into and what we're streaming, and we'll call it a night. Do you have another
Oh.
movie you'd like to talk about?
I could bring one up real quick. Behind Enemy Lines. We kind of talked about it on underrated movies.
Yeah, that one's great.
It's so good, and everybody gives what's his name in that?
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson crap for how he acts and stuff.
Not in that one.
That one, he did great.
Yeah.
He did great. He wasn't his like
Yeah.
That-
Yeah.
yeah yeah. The
Yeah.
guy that everybody makes fun of. He wasn't that in that movie.
Wow. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow. 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 Yeah, that one's great, dude. And that one's a PG-13. It's not too graphic either.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
There's that one scene that's pretty intense where he has to hide
Yes.
under the bodies.
Oh, dude,
so
that
crazy.
one's crazy intense.
Um,
Intense.
Intense.
All right, Adam.
I mean, there's so many good ones on here. I mean, Fury is really good for a
Haven't seen
modern
Fury either.
Fury's
show.
really good. You know who's
Um,
phenomenal in that? Shia LaBeouf, dude.
Dude,
So
Shia
good.
was so good in that show.
He ripped his
That-
own tooth out for that role
Yeah.
of Bible or
There,
whatever they
there was
call
a
him.
lot of like the actors had a lot of problems throughout that because all the actors were so committed in their like
yeah, but they kind of
roles.
praised Shia later in
Yeah.
interviews about his. I mean, he's a
Commitment.
method actor,
Yeah.
but like,
So that one's incredible. I have to mention Troy as one of my all-time
yeah, that's a cool one.
favorite like
I do like that ad.
war movies.
Another Brad Pitt movie.
And he eats in it.
What?
And he eats in it.
does he?
He probably does, dude. I wouldn't doubt it.
Doesn't he eat when he's in the tent with that girl?
Yeah.
I guarantee he eats in the movie. Like I've yet to find a movie where he's not
Where he's
eating.
not eating.
The worst one's Moneyball. Go watch Moneyball.
Oh, he's constantly eating.
he
The whole
every
show.
single
Like,
scene
yeah.
he's eating.
Yeah, Troy is just so good. Like it I don't know. There's something
Super
that's
Hollywood,
like
but
yeah,
it's
it's
good.
very romanticized and like it's cool, but it's just I loved it as a kid. It was like one of my first war movies I was able to really watch and get into, and it was just like awesome. Really, really good.
I said one at a time. No,
Well,
just
I thought
joking.
you were
Go
going
for
through
it.
the end of the. You were like, speak on your last thing.
No, I just
couple.
joking, dude. I'm just kidding. Go for it, man.
Another one that
Just talking to that
isn't
mic.
as talked about is Saints and Soldiers.
Yes. Yeah.
That one is
it's a
not
Mormon
talked
movie.
about very much, but it is really, really good. The way that they follow the small group of soldiers that get separated, and they're trying to kind of survive as a group, and has a lot to do with God and religion and kind of the clash between a Mormon kid and some Catholics, and then I think one of them is an atheist. But it's just this interesting clash that happened a lot in war. Whenever you're in any sort of tragedy, like God is talked about a lot, and so it's interesting to see the depiction of how like tragedy ties in with religion and this like idea of wanting something more than just yourself when you're in horrible situations and places. And so one thing that I loved the most about it was just that depiction of always having something to believe in to
Yeah.
get you through the horrible things that you're doing, even though it's like you're fighting with your own like moral compass
Right.
in this horrible place that you're in. It's just a really, really good movie.
It goes
all
back
the
to
way
that
around.
saying. I think it's in one of the war movies where it says like, if God's on our side, who's on theirs?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm sure you call when you're in those situations. You're really contemplating and reflecting on God a lot because you're like, what is this life? But
Yeah.
a bunch of Utah actors in that one. That's all
Yeah.
Utah film.
That's like it's small. It's not a very well known film, but it's still one of my favorite war
It's a
movies.
really good film. It won the
Um,
Sundance Film Festival the year it came out.
Just incredible. They did a great job with low budget. They did a great job depicting like emotion and impact
And not being too violent either. They
Yeah.
do a good job of like
There's a
telling
lot
the
of
story
storytelling.
without being so
Mhm.
graphic. Because I will say there are some war
character
movies where
building.
you're like, some more movies are getting. It's like they're going for the
they're going
off
for
factor.
too more bloody. Than
Yeah,
the
rather than
reality,
like the what's well, and it might still be realistic, but it's like you're almost just taking away from the
Character building
realities
and-
of the situation just by showing like insane gore. So I don't know.
The last thing I want to mention real quick is I just watched this documentary. It's on Netflix. It's called World War II from the Front Lines, and it depicts the whole journey from like almost like a third party perspective of
Uh-huh.
World War II in its whole from the beginning. all the way through the very end.
Like
of
the
atomic
history
bomb,
of the World War
the
II?
history of World War II.
Oh, cool.
And what's most interesting about the film is they have people talking, like how in Band of Brothers they have real people that were in World War II talking, but they don't just do it from the Ally perspective. And that's one of the hard things about watching it, but also one of the things that's most interesting about it is they have German soldiers, old German soldiers that were in these battles that they're depicting, and then they talk about it. And they talk about how, like, from their side, they thought they were the good guys. They thought that they were supposed to be doing what they were supposed to be doing. And it's hard to listen to, but you also get this, like, different perspective of how how something like that can happen. And it's just a really, really interesting documentary that I'd highly recommend watching, just because it gives you a more well-rounded perspective of all of the aspects, because it's not
There's no right and wrong to war.
right, and
Like, there's just sadness.
Yeah.
Like, that's the
it
reality.
really helps you to see that a little bit, because, like, a lot of soldiers, regardless of whatever side you're on, like, you're not that political figure. You're dying and killing for
So you don't die.
for the
A lot of times,
Mhm.
but, yeah.
those who are making the rules and pushing the things and
Yeah.
making things happen, and then here you are, some farm boy in the middle of some crazy war, hooping and hollering, but you don't, in your perspective, you think you're doing the right thing.
And
So
yeah,
it's kinda
and,
crazy.
Yeah, it's war is complicated.
War is very complicated, and it just does a good job of depicting World War II, which is a very romanticized war, sadly. But something that's helps you kind of get a better perspective and
Cool.
imaging of it.
Well, cool. George, do you have a couple more movies you like to throw in or anything?
Real quick, Dad said Born on the 4th of July.
Well,
Story.
that one's hard. Oh,
Yeah, that one's
PTSD
tough.
and stuff in that one. for
I
sure.
haven't even heard of it.
Sounds similar to
Yeah.
Brothers.
Yeah.
Said as,
Brothers is incredible.
Brothers is
Story of
deep
Ron
too, dude.
Kovic, who was drafted to Vietnam, was shot and paralyzed from the waist down, came home and became an anti-war activist. Tom Cruise was amazing in that role.
Yeah, it's really good. It is like it does show the effects of war when people get back home. Brothers is man, that was a hard one to watch.
That's
It's another
hard-
one that deals more with
You
the
want to
PTSD.
understand PTSD.
Jarhead does a good job of that a bit too.
Jarhead does do a good job of that.
Yeah.
Another one we could talk about a little bit is Platoon. That's where I heard the line, "Excuses are like assholes. Everybody's got one."
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Yeah,
Black
Platoon's
Hawk
great.
Down's amazing. The Hurt
Another
Locker.
true
I did
story.
watch it. My dad mentioned the Hurt Locker, and he kept telling me, "You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it." And it is really good. I really liked it. I'm not the biggest fan of the main actor in that movie. He's
Hawkeye. or
Hawkeye.
whatever.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I don't like
think
him
he's
that
a
much.
good actor, but I can't
One of my
get
favorite
into
movies
it.
ever is Arrival, and the only thing about that movie I don't like
Is
is
him.
Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
And there's nothing bad about him.
He's not. Yeah.
It's
He's
just like I don't know what it is.
something about him doesn't sit
Yeah,
right with
I'm
me.
that
That's
way
all. I
too.
can't say he's a bad actor. I can't say, I don't know, but like, and then the role he played in that was like, at least at the beginning, was kind of like this ignorant dude in war, and I'm like, that's kind of, he was kind of annoying, and then it got a lot better, and he played like a more heartfelt role, continuing.
Cool.
So that one was great, and I'm glad my dad told me to watch it. And then
Any
the
other
last-
ones?
No, that's kind of all of them that I had to mention. We've talked about a lot of them though, so
The only other one I
I-
want. Oh, go ahead.
sorry. No, I can add this at the end. You're good.
The only other one I really want to talk about was some two newer ones that I thought were really great, which were Dunkirk is really good,
Very
really
good.
well done. very. It's Christopher Nolan, who's just the GOAT when it comes to directing movies. I think it was a little underrated. Harry Styles is in it.
Absolutely underrated.
But
for
it's
sure.
really great. It's a phenomenal film. And then the other one was 1917. I watched
That
that
one's
on a plane ride to DC, or I think it was DC. Maybe it was Florida. I can't remember which one, but it was a good long plane ride, and it's just one shot. The entire movie is one shot. Some tough scenes in that one too.
Very tough scenes. Yeah.
But really, really well done. It really was hard. The kid scene was really hard for me because once you have a kid, man, kid scenes just
yeah, I
they
can't imagine.
they affect you in a different way. I had no idea how much they'd affect me once I had a kid. Like you just see your kid in those movies.
For sure.
Anyway, so those were just the two modern ones. Funny story about Oppenheimer. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast. I might have on the Scott episode, but all of a sudden I was at home. It's the middle of the day, and I get a notification that Amazon is like, "Thank you for your Amazon purchase, for $20 or whatever, for $25." And I'm like, okay, maybe my wife purchased a movie purchase. I'm like, maybe my wife purchased a movie. She's bored or something at home. I go to look at it. I'm like, Oppenheimer. That does not seem like a movie Bria would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this without Matt, and we're watching it all so I call her up and I'm like, hey, did you just purchase Oppenheimer? And I hear her go, Becca, and Becca was just playing with the remote or something and bought it, and there's no way of getting it like the
My
money back.
daughter's done that too.
So, because Amazon's customer service is a joke, but so now I have Oppenheimer and I haven't seen it, and I think it was on that albums episode because Scott brought it up.
What is Oppenheimer?
I don't know much about it. I haven't even seen the trailer. I know it's a Christopher Nolan movie, and it has to deal with the atomic bomb. I believe it has to deal with the dude who made. I think Oppenheimer is maybe it's the codename or the person that built the atomic bomb. I can't remember, but it has to do with the atomic bomb in World War II. So I don't know enough about it. So, but I've heard it's pretty good. So
Yeah, well, I wish they would do. I mean, there are some good movies, but there's not a lot. There's a lot of romanticizing around Germany in World War
I think
II.
that's going to be the word of the podcast today.
Romanticizing.
How many times? What's it going to be a
that's the only word I
drinking
can
game
think
for
of.
people? How many times Adam says romanticize?
Romantifications.
No, go on.
World War II was romantic, is basically what he's trying to say, and I don't even get it.
No, what were you saying? Sorry.
But there's a lot of more war movies and information about the battle in Germany and in Europe. There's not as much between the U.S. and Japan. There's a couple of things, but it's really interesting history. I mean, the difficulty of what the United States had to do in order to fight Japan, which is kind of crazy that a lot of the U.S. films are more based towards Europe when the country who actually attacked and got the United States into World War II was Japan.
Under the rule of Hitler, though, so that's
no,
why.
I mean Imperial Japan was its own.
They were allied with Hitler.
They allied with Hitler, but they weren't like Hitler didn't tell them what to do. They were already doing a war with China, and Hitler was doing his own war. And then Hitler, I can't remember the name of the Japanese leader, emperor, but Japan saw themselves as an empire, the Imperial Empire of Japan, and then there was Stalin, right, in Italy, and all three of them, and then the first like uniting between Germany was Germany and not Stalin. Stalin's Russian.
Okay.
I was
like, where are you going, dude? Like, what?
Italy. Who was the leader of Italy?
He really liked spaghetti.
No, but anyways, there's just not as much over on Japan, and that journey of the United States going what's called island hopping. They had to hop from all of the islands, which basically they're repeating D-Day over and over and over and over until they're able to eventually take down Japan. It's a really interesting side of the war that's not really talked
discussed.
about. And there's some really crazy things, and some of the horrific things that Germany did. I mean, there's a equivalent, if not in some aspects, significantly worse things that Japan did to people in China.
Oh, I believe it. Well, the only other one I was gonna bring up was actually, it's not technically a war movie. I don't think it's really considered a war movie, but I think it should be because it takes place during the war. Is Imitation Game. Have you seen Imitation Game?
Never even heard of it.
Have you seen Imitation Game?
It sounds really familiar.
It's brilliant.
Isn't
It's
that the
got
one
Benedict.
about code breaking?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange, and it's about the individual who basically invented the first ever computer, which he was able to decode the German.
I have
Code.
seen it. It's so good.
Yeah, and basically, essentially, won us the war.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a really great movie. It's not really, there's not a lot of war in it, but it's really,
It's pretty
really
amazing,
great.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really great movie.
One thing that's tied to code breaking, one of the things that came out of Utah was the was it the Navajo?
The Ute.
The Utes. Yeah,
the
the
Ute tribe.
Ute. They would speak in their language because no other country knew the language at all. And so
I didn't know that came out of Utah necessarily, but I know that Native Americans were used in coding. There's a movie about that.
Yeah.
It's on our list.
Maybe there's a character in it that's from Utah. Why I'm thinking of that or something like that. But
yeah, that was those languages didn't have a lot of writing, so it was a great way to communicate. So they'd have Native Americans were used as code breaker. There's a movie called like Code Breakers or something that's based on that.
That's really interesting.
Well, let's close out. That was a fun episode, a little different for us. Kind of left turn for us.
Yeah.
We usually joke around on stuff. Got a little bit more serious. Hope you guys stuck with us through it all. But why don't we real quickly just end by
Dad said Mussolini over Italy.
Mussolini.
Yeah. Mussolini?
Yeah.
Mussolini.
Okay,
that's what I was thinking about. Mussolini.
Man, we
Yeah, Stalin. Yeah.
Sorry, I was wrong. I knew Stalin was Russian, but
No, it's all good, man.
yeah, Mussolini and Hitler got really close, and Hitler actually pulled him out before Italy got taken back.
Well, I was just gonna say we should go around real quick. We haven't done this in a while, but just kind of say what we're streaming before we close out. What we're either streaming or reading or listening to right now that we're really digging, that maybe some of our listeners would be interested, that you're like, oh, you got to check. You kind of did the documentary. So do you want to pick something that you're digging right now? It doesn't have to be war related. It can be anything that you're digging that people might be interested in.
I've been watching, I don't know if I was talking about this before the podcast or at the beginning, but Loudermilk is
during the podcast you did.
That was during? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. When do you guys go first? I'll think about it.
Jordan?
I'm still hooked on phonics and and learning how to read the books. So
Read the books.
which is good. No, I am still playing Hogwarts Legacy. I'm
Nice.
so roped in it. It's awesome. It's so sweet because I can drop it and pick it up, and I feel like I just know right where I left off, and that's unusual with such big
open world
games.
games, yeah.
So I'm loving that. That's what I'm currently
Cool.
addicted to.
I'm just right now I've been watching the last season of The Crown. So have you guys watched The Crown at all?
No.
Really good. Phenomenal television show. If you haven't seen it, start from the beginning. The first few seasons are my favorite, but I've been watching that, and I'm looking forward to watching the Great British Bake Off because I love it. So that's what I'm streaming. So Adam, any other things you're streaming that you dig?
We just finished this one. It's
Talking in the
called
mic a little bit more.
The Fall of
Talk it-
House Usher.
Just pull that mic towards you, bro.
The
There you
Fall
go.
of House Usher. It's a part of like multiple
Peaches
different
and
series
cream.
that
No,
kind of connect.
no, no.
That's
But,
actually 112 is the band that sings that.
Sure. I don't know what you're.
Well, one of his songs is like Usher.
Ush.
Yeah. But super good. Really good TV show. Yeah, that's probably the big thing I'm doing. And snowboarding a lot. So if you
Nice.
if you want to get up to the
Nice.
mountain, do it. It's worth it.
Where,
Yeah,
where's
I
your
would be
season
doing
pass
stuff
this
in the
year?
mountain with my snowmobile if
Brighton.
we could get snow.
You're at Brighton this year?
Yeah, Brighton.
Cool.
So doing a lot of that.
Well, Jordan, Adam, thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot of fun.
Real quick, this was funny. So my daughter said I was kind of talking about what we were doing for the podcast, and she
Uh-huh.
goes, I want to be on the podcast. I said, okay, so I said, pick a subject, pick a topic, and she goes, well, I don't know. I'm like, should you talk about Barbies? Do you want to talk about McDonald's? Things kids like, right? And she
Uh-huh.
goes, yeah, I'll talk about Barbies going to McDonald's.
Is this sis?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's so funny.
I'm
dude.
like, all right, you're on.
Oh, she's so cute.
No, it'd be funny to do a cute little episode though with her or something.
The girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks everybody for coming on. For Adam for coming on and Jordan for coming over, and you have to be here, you're part of the crew. But
Mhm.
next week we have my father on, so this is a big episode. We've got multiple people actually ask, "When's your dad coming on the podcast?" So next week we have Fasha coming on, and we are going to.
Fasha, he's dad.
He's dad. He's my papa. He is coming on, and we're going to talk the best albums of the 80s. So get ready for that poll. The album polls always do pretty well. And yeah, we'll see you all next week for that. Is there anything else?
I'm going
before
to
we
sing
head
one
out?
of the songs from the 80s about dad. Daddy wasn't there to take me to the fair, to change my underwear. Daddy.
To change my underwear.
He was there.
Daddy wasn't there. Yeah, our father was
Yeah,
there.
that was Austin Powers. If you didn't know, I don't understand you for not knowing that.
All right.
But anyways,
well,
yeah, let's
we'll see
wrap
you
this
all
up. That was
next
fun.
week. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Adam. We'll see y'all.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Did you kill him dead?
Hmm?
Did you kill him dead?